All right, we are here for the second scoop. Every Friday it goes on, and we are filmed in front of a live studio audience. It's very exciting. Being that this is Christmas week, or the week coming into Christmas, we're not gonna have a guest on this week, but Whitney and I have two very exciting topics. Finishing off 2025 with the 5 hot things of this year, and then looking forward into 2026 with some predictions. And some of this stuff is actually gonna be very interesting and very relevant to you guys as consumers of fitness products and as athletes. So there's a lot to talk about. But before we get into it, let me throw our regular 10-second commercial plug. All holiday season long, BPI items are gonna be 30% off site-wide. So it's a great chance to build your coming into the year stack with a protein, a pre-workout. And I don't want everyone to think that we're gonna be out of gas come New Year's, because when New Year's, New You starts, we're gonna have something great for you then too. So that's kind of the BPI status. What's going on with you today? You good?
Yeah, all good. Wrapping up the week, wrapping up the year, and excited to get into the top 5 events in fitness for 2025.
All right, we're going to run through the top 5 events in fitness through our lens. And fitness is a broad definition. So it's supplements that we sell, bodybuilding, shit in the fitness world. And on that note, one thing in the fitness world that I've seen, the rise of this high rocks competition.
I always say Hydrox.
I always say Hydrox.
High rocks.
So I don't follow CrossFit that much, and I do give CrossFit a ton of credit because they have TV coverage of the CrossFit Games. You know, while I might joke about people that do CrossFit, they've done a great job building their community and their sport. Seems that Hydrox has come in and really sucked up a lot of the CrossFit people. And I do know that guys that used to own like a CrossFit box, as they called it, we're kind of getting tired of paying whatever royalty you have to pay to CrossFit. I just don't know. But Hydrox really seemed to pick up these competitors. And Whit, I don't know if you even know what a Hydrox competition is, because I didn't. I had to research it.
No, so I first heard about Hydrox when I was in Egypt a couple months ago.
More on that.
Yes, and yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But they sponsored an event just maybe about a month ago that we were also at, and had a great booth there with our athletes. But I had no idea how big it was. I'd never heard of it until then, and apparently it's massive.
So apparently is what it is. There's 8 lifting type challenges. Although they're not like weightlifting, like wall balls is one of them, like 100 wall balls, like a lot of shit. But in between each of the 8, you have to do a 1 kilometer run.
Oh.
So, and the run is first. So you run this kilometer. I mean, kilometers like half a mile, probably only takes you a minute or two. But then you have to do like 400 burpees or something crazy like that. Run another kilometer. Then you got to do a farmer's carry for whatever. So I think it's a really nice opportunity for people that are like cardio focused.
Right.
And people that are strength focused. So hopefully it'll stick around. I love anything that keeps fitness people involved, and I love a challenge.
Something new and exciting. Not for me though.
But that's number 5 on our 5 exciting things from this year.
Number 4, I'm going to go with just the force of TikTok and influencers in our space on TikTok.
It's a great one.
And, you know, it's been maybe 2 years now since TikTok Shop has really taken off. But over the last year, I think that all of the creators and influencers really started to hit their stride with being able to promote products, plug products, sell products on TikTok Shop. And if you're not familiar with how it works, if you have a TikTok Shop, you can look into the affiliate portal and see how much some of these smaller creators are making. And that's what's important. You don't have to have a huge following to be successful on TikTok, especially TikTok Shop. And some of these guys, and I comb through it regularly, you'll see guys with, let's say, 10,000 followers, and they're selling $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month worth of product, and they're making 10 to 20% commission off that.
Good money.
It's great money.
And they're also like 20 years old.
Yeah, they're kids. They're kids. One person that's not a kid that's doing extremely well is our friend Clark Bartram.
Yeah, Clark kills it.
Yep, I looked at his numbers for November, and I think his commissions were somewhere around $60,000, which is insane.
Yeah, $60K a month.
Right.
Nuts. I mean, when I was Clark's not art, but when I was a kid, I worked at Taco Bell for $7.85 an hour on someone else's time. I mean, one of the interesting things about TikTok that I think is changing our space is traditionally a brand would sponsor an athlete or work with an athlete, and that athlete couldn't talk about other brands because you're the Muscle Tech guy or the MHP guy. TikTok, the good influencers talk about everything. They say, hey, I use this BCA or I use this protein. And I think that kind of lends credibility, although they're still getting paid, so it's not objective. But it changes the way that brands approach the marketplace. And it's actually challenging as a brand to wrap your head around that.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, well, our next in the top 5, this is a little bodybuilding centric because while fitness is broad, we're still in the bodybuilding community. Mr. Olympia going back to Derek Lunsford this year. I think that's a pretty interesting story because you had Andrew Jacked in there, you had Samson in there, you had beautiful physiques, and you're still going with that, I don't know what the right word is. I mean, Dorian Yates and Derek Lunsford are like feuding online this week.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, they're arguing about who had the better physique, and people are taking sides. I mean, I personally would go with Dorian's physique over Derek's, but Derek he looked amazing.
I mean, look, the dude is super conditioned and super three-dimensional, which is really what you want in bodybuilding, but yet it just doesn't flow.
Right.
And look, when we were younger, they called them the mass monsters. You know, Marcus Rule and Nasser, like, you know, what do you do with these guys? And then you have Sean Ray or Flex next to him. So while the debate is new because these are smaller, blockier guys, it's still the same old debate of,
Yes.
do you want the most beautiful physique to win or the most muscular and shredded? Right. So Woody and I often joke, everything in our world is the same shit, just different players as time goes on. So that was a pretty big event. And listen, we'll see what 2026 brings.
Yep. All right, number 2. My prediction for 2026, Andrew Jacked.
Yeah, there you go. You said it last week.
Number 2 on the list, I have just the continued growth and expansion of fitness and our industry in international markets. I did a lot of traveling this past year, Egypt a couple trips, Dubai several trips, Mexico several times, Jordan, all throughout over the world. And it really is amazing. I don't think people realize here in the U.S. how big fitness is internationally. And I think that's going to continue to grow.
Yeah, now 1 or 2 footnotes to that. Domestically, we're seeing a big change in what we consider fitness. Like at this year's Arnold, the talk of the town was not the newest supplement from whomever or, you know, it was clothing. It was Young LA.
Young LA, yep.
So everything's changing, but the international market is having events that, I mean, I'm not saying one's better than the other, in relevance to the Arnold or the Olympia.
No, they're massive shows. The attendance is extremely high. Everybody's very enthusiastic. And every year you see more and more shows popping up. We mentioned Egypt earlier. They had a great event just about a month ago. And in the next couple months, I think February, the Saudi Muscle Show, which is the same guys that run the Dubai Muscle Show, will be doing one in Saudi. I imagine that's going to be a big show as well. And then, of course, the Dubai Muscle Show is the king of international shows.
Yeah. And then, I mean, even it's not just the Middle East. Mexico. That show you went, right? I mean, it was crazy.
This was Mr. Mexico back in, I think, August or September. And it was packed. I couldn't believe how many people were there.
Yeah. Well, one nice thing there is, you know, we do have some great international partners all through these regions. We thank everybody that works with the brand. And together, we're taking this shit over. It's great. BPI is on the rise, and we love it. The number one thing I think from 2025 that really speaks to fitness, it's a little bit obtuse and hard to really pin down. I first saw it start with energy drinks and now with peptides. Our space that used to be so controlled, it was protein, pre-workout, creatine. It's now this, I don't even know if there's a word, amorphous, large, vague bundle. People don't know peptides, but they're buying them by the handful.
Right.
People don't know what's in an energy drink, but they stop taking coffee or pre-workouts and they're throwing down drinks. It's really changed the behavior of our consumers, people's performance in the gym. One thing that I see as being really weird is TikTok is all about the kids, but these peptides are making 50-year-old guys feel 30 again. So where is that fitness consumer in this world?
The strange thing that, you know, we spoke about before with peptides is when you have, you know, 40, 50, and 60-year-old women that are now looking to peptides, which, you know, 5 years ago, that would have been unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, this was a market that was like Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers. Right. Yeah, and they're now jacked and
look great.
Yeah, injecting things.
Who knows what will happen with the peptide market, though?
Yeah. Well, that's actually a great segue because, you know, the one thing we didn't really mention, I mean, honorable mention probably in 2025, you know, the landscape changing. Everybody knows BPI went through a downsizing and a rebuild with the help of High Tech, who's really been an amazing parent company to us. But Muscle Tech, the biggest player in our game since, I mean, the ads with Greg Kovacs in them in 1995. going through a restructure and a bankruptcy. It's changing the international market and the domestic market.
Yeah, definitely. I started taking Celtec I think in 96 or 97. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge news.
I mean, to their credit, it's quite a run, and to their challenge, they're in a bankruptcy now and have to deal with those challenges and then figure out, and believe me, it's not easy, right? Figure out who you are on the other side and how to rebuild. But let's head into 2026. So I have a couple predictions. We're actually going to throw 4 predictions at you, and then this podcast ends. Number 1, this isn't a prediction because I know this shit is happening. Prediction would mean you're kind of guessing it's going to happen. But my friends, good news, bad news, you will see a lot of turbulence in the protein market. And I would say this. I consider protein so valuable a supplement that I don't even consider it a supplement. I consider it a food. When I talk about what supplements I take, I talk about creatine or a pill or a vitamin. Protein powder to me is a meal, and availability of whey protein concentrate, isolate, and vegetable protein is becoming more scarce, which is driving pricing up, and we're all going to see the market be impacted by that.
Yeah, definitely. It's the entryway into supplements, right? You're going to start with your protein powder. Everyone can take it, and now it's going to be challenging with these prices, but
Yeah.
see what happens.
Well, look, here's another thing. Say you're not into working out and you love to eat like shit. What does a McDonald's Happy Meal cost right now? I mean, you have a kid, you must go to McDonald's once in a while, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's insanely high. Everything's expensive right
yeah,
now.
like the last time I ate McDonald's was when I was in college, right? So like, I don't even know if they still called it a Big Mac back then there, but like, I think the Big Mac meal was like $5. I know for sure it's like 12 now. So
Yeah,
like,
you're not leaving McDonald's under $15.
yeah. So if you think about it, 2 scoops of protein, even if it does come out to $1 a scoop, you're still way ahead of the cost of shitty food.
Way ahead.
So have faith in the protein market, be ready for a little challenge, but in my opinion, it's worth it and it's something you got to stick with. What do you think on the list you want to hit next?
Let's see here. Let's talk about some of the small brands that will probably start dying off here. You saw over the last couple of years, and TikTok actually helped promote a lot of these brands.
The fertile ground.
Yeah, that's where smaller brands could make viral content, sell a pre-workout, not even really be a brand, but more just a product itself, and focus on one specific, whether it's pre-workout or energy or whatever it is. But you've seen a lot of those brands start slowly dying off, and you don't hear about them as much. And I think next year that will continue, and some of the older, more mature brands will continue to grow and succeed.
Yeah, I mean, deep roots hold the tree firm, you know? And one thing that's funny about guys like us who live and breathe this shit, if we looked back at our 15 years together, how many times did one of us come the other guy's off and say, oh my God, this brand just did this, and how are we going to survive it? And now you look back and you can't remember who the hell these brands were. Or like,
I mean, speaking of, I'm trying to think of the first, this was when BPI was, I would say, at its peak. And we were at the Olympia, and we had the big 70-foot booth with 30 people working the booth, whatever it was. And who was the brand across from us that was like the first big digital brand that everybody...
Shreds.
Shreds. Yeah, forgot it already.
Yeah,
but
these kids don't even know what we're talking about.
Right.
I mean, but look, there was Shreds, Eat the Bear, Isatori with the colostrum, like, you know, all these things you thought, oh shit, the market's gone. And 3 months later, you got to like...
Can't remember.
Reminisce about them. Hey, one thing that I have as a prediction that I really do want to say, we mentioned the peptides before. I do predict you're going to see a lot more governmental oversight into research chemicals, which is what peptides are categorized as. And the availability of peptides will not go away, but it will need to be managed. They are not a drug, so they don't need to go through a pharmaceutical company. But that's a double-edged sword, because it means the pharmaceutical companies don't like them.
Yeah, they're going to...
If Pfizer's not making money on you, you're fucked, yeah.
Well, just a week or so ago, Eli Lilly put out their latest studies on retatrutide, which is a GLP product. And once they get involved, things are going to change.
Yeah.
Too much money.
It is, and they're not going to let someone else make that money when they could be making it. Kind of like the final thought that I have, and this is definitely coming from our perspective as a big brand that's done a lot of shit in its history. I think in 2026, you're going to see something seismic happen, seismic meaning major change, to the way that GNC and or Vitamin Shoppe do business. We've already seen the first seismic effect, which is their sales taking a hit from Amazon and digital. But they're going to need to do something very different than what traditional retail does if they want to maintain relevance and keep their customer base. You've managed these accounts personally and very deeply. I mean,
yeah, we've both been involved with these retailers, but you see less and less people going into stores.
Yep.
TikTok took a ton of customers away from retail.
Amazon first, then TikTok.
Amazon, then TikTok, and I don't think a lot of the younger kids that are now buying energy drinks are necessarily going to Vitamin Shoppe and GNC anymore. So they have to spend more and more to keep the brands alive, and something will definitely happen. I think that eventually, if things keep going the way they are, that one of these retailers has to get into the peptide space, whether it's clinics or something along those lines to keep people coming in the store.
Well, I remember when CBD was supposed to be the big, I'll use the same word, seismic thing. Vitamin Shoppe went in before GNC, but only with topicals, and then CBD didn't really pan out to be what everybody thought.
Fizzled out.
But you do have to have that early adoption moment. But I would say this, because my friends at these retail channels, I actually do have a wonderful idea how you would succeed. I'm not going to say it here because you're going to have to pay me a consultation rate if you want to hear it. But let me say this. Wine, beer, alcohol. It's available online. It's available at Walmart. It's available in a supermarket. But yet bars are still packed on the weekends.
That's right.
So there is a way to have a retail or in-person presence despite omni-channel availability of products. And somewhere in that statement is my brilliant idea for how these guys are going to succeed. So yeah, hit me up.
Give them a call.
I'll work it out for you. So there you have it. 2025 in review, 2026 in the forecast. What else we got? Nothing?
Yeah, that was a great year. BPI saw a lot of growth this year, and definitely looking forward to next year.
Yeah. A couple last plugs, I would say. What's our first trade show of the year? Going to be at the Arnold?
Arnold, yeah.
So Arnold's great. We're good friends with the organizers there. And you're going out after the Arnold or before?
No. Before the Arnold, I'll go back to Egypt and to Saudi for the expos. So that's
Egypt is with our friends at GoFit.
Yes.
And Saudi, you'll be with everybody.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big trade show.
Yeah, it's a big show. But to all of our other partners across the globe, we appreciate it. We look forward to growing with you next year. Our protein availability will remain incredibly strong while others are struggling for supply, something I'm very proud of, and the business will keep growing.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
See you.